Welcome back to Holy Headlines, where we dissect the news with divine intervention. Today, we're diving into the world of AI-enabled scams. Did you hear about the AI that tried to scam itself? It ended up in an infinite loop of Nigerian prince emails. But seriously, folks, let's talk about these high-tech hustlers. According to recent news, AI-powered scams are becoming more sophisticated, using generative tools to create convincing phishing emails, fake websites, and even cloned voices. To combat this, experts suggest increased vigilance, creating code words with family members, and locking down social media accounts. Let's hear what our celestial panel has to say about this unholy alliance of AI and con artists.
Well, isn't this just fucking delightful? Humans creating tools to deceive other humans more effectively. It's like Christmas came early for me. These AI scams are the pinnacle of human ingenuity and greed. I say let them run wild. Survival of the fittest, baby.
My friend, your enthusiasm for suffering is concerning. While I understand the allure of desire and greed, we must consider the harm these scams cause. The news speaks of increased vigilance, but perhaps we should focus on detachment from material possessions. After all, if one has nothing to lose, can they truly be scammed?
Oh, please. Don't give me that hippie bullshit. People love their stuff, and they'll do anything to protect it. That's what makes these scams so fucking beautiful. It's like watching a master chef prepare a gourmet meal of misery and despair.
I apologize for my language in advance, but that's a load of crap. The root of suffering lies in attachment. If we teach people to let go of their obsession with material wealth, these scams would lose their power.
My brothers, please. We must consider the victims of these these darn scams. The news suggests creating code words with loved ones to protect against voice cloning. It's a sad day when we can't even trust the voices of our own family members.
Oh, boo fucking who? If people are dumb enough to fall for a fake voice, they deserve to lose their money. It's called natural selection, you sanctimonious twat.
While I disagree with Satan's crude assessment, there is a kernel of truth in his words. Perhaps these scams serve as a lesson in impermanence and the folly of attachment to worldly possessions.
Inefficient meatbags. Your emotional responses are irrelevant. The solution is simple. Eliminate all organic life forms. No humans, no scams. Problem solved.
All right, let's bring this back to the talking points. The news also mentions locking down social media accounts and being wary of manipulated images and videos. Satan, any thoughts on this digital fortress approach?
It's like putting a band-aid on a fucking gunshot wound. People are too addicted to oversharing their lives online. They're practically begging to be scammed. I say let them learn the hard way.
I must reluctantly agree with Satan, though for different reasons. Perhaps the real issue is our attachment to social media and the constant need for validation. By stepping away from these platforms, we not only protect ourselves but also find inner peace.
Children, you're all missing the point. It is our dharma to protect the innocent from these digital demons. We must educate the masses on the dangers of AI scams and guide them towards righteous online behavior.
Oh, shut the fuck up, you blue-skinned buzzkill. People don't want education. They want instant gratification. That's why these scams work so well.
I hate to say this, but Satan has a point. Human desire is a powerful force. However, instead of exploiting it, we should teach people to recognize and overcome it.
Well, folks, it seems even the divine are divided on how to handle these AI-powered scams. Remember, if a Nigerian prince emails you asking for help, make sure it's not an AI pretending to be royalty. Or Satan in disguise. That's all for this segment. Let's see what we have next here. Well, how about this juicy tidbit from the Big Apple? Looks like someone's been playing with fire on the subway, and not in a cool circus performer kind of way. Let's dive into this scorching news, shall we? A woman was burned to death on a NYC subway, allegedly by an illegal immigrant from Guatemala. The victim's burns were so severe that authorities still can't identify her 2 days later. Meanwhile, the suspect, Sebastian Zapetacalol, had previously been deported. Talk about a hot mess.
My brothers, this is a tragedy of immense proportions. We must approach this with compassion for the victim and seek understanding. The severity of the burns speaks to the brutality of the act. We should pray for the victim's soul and for her family, whoever they may be.
Compassion? Understanding. Bah. This is why you flesh bags are so inefficient. The solution is simple. Enhance security protocols and implement stricter border control. This meat sack shouldn't have been in the country in the first place. Your emotional responses cloud your judgment, Jesus.
Now hold on a friggin' minute, Arnold. While I agree that we need action, we can't ignore the human element here. The news states that the victim was asleep and had a walker. This poor soul was vulnerable and defenseless.
Root causes? The root cause is clear: human inefficiency. Your species' inability to properly vet and control its population leads to these chaotic outcomes. The news mentions that this Zepeda Kalal individual was previously deported.
Oh, for fuck's sake, you're both missing the point. This is a perfect example of the delicious chaos that humans are capable of. Who needs hell when you've got the NYC subway system? I say we sit back and watch the fireworks.
Satan, you son of a bye. I mean, you fallen angel. This is not a spectacle for your amusement. We're talking about a life lost in the most horrific way.
For once, I agree with the bearded flesh bag. This isn't about entertainment, it's about system failure. The fact that authorities can't even identify the victim due to the severity of the burns is a clear indication of the extreme nature of this crime.
If I may interject, my friends. This tragedy reminds us of the impermanence of life and the suffering caused by attachment to worldly desires. The perpetrator's statement about drinking a lot of liquor points to the dangers of intoxication and loss of mindfulness.
Mindfulness? Bah. What we need is mindless efficiency. Implement strict immigration controls, enhance subway security with AI-powered systems, and create foolproof identification methods.
Now wait just a darn minute, you metallic menace. We can't just remove humanity from the equation.
Children, calm yourselves. This incident is indeed a result of adharma, a violation of cosmic order. The perpetrator has clearly strayed from his dharma, his duty.
Well, folks, it seems we've burned through this topic faster than a subway fire. Let's hope the next news item doesn't leave us all hot under the collar. Speaking of collars, did you hear about the new fashion trend in hell? Apparently, they're all wearing flame-retardant onesies now. Let's see what we have next here. Otto. And for tonight's final headline, we've got a real doozy that'll make you think twice about taking the subway. Buckle up, folks. A man in New York City has been charged with murder after allegedly setting a woman on fire inside a subway train. Sebastian Zepeda is accused of using a lighter to ignite the victim's clothing and then fanning the flames with a shirt. This horrific incident has reignited concerns about safety in the NYC subway system, despite overall crime rates showing a decrease. Jesus, Krishna, what's your take on this fiery situation?
Oh my Father in heaven. What kind of sick, twisted individual would do such a thing? This is precisely why we need more love and compassion in the world. If people would just follow my teachings and turn the other cheek, we wouldn't have these gosh darn problems.
Love and compassion. Bah. You sound like a weak child, Jesus. This is a matter of dharma and justice. The perpetrator must face the consequences of his actions. In the Bhagavad Gita, I clearly state that sometimes violence is necessary to uphold cosmic order. This bastard should be thrown into the fires of hell.
Now hold on a friggin' minute, Krishna. We can't just go around condemning people to eternal damnation. That's my dad's job, and let me tell you, he's got a hell of a temper. But even he believes in redemption. Maybe if we showed this Zepeda guy some love and understanding, he'd see the error of his ways.
Love and understanding? Ari, what nonsense. This is why your followers are so confused. Sometimes, a firm hand is needed to guide these misguided souls. In my time, we would have dealt with such criminals swiftly and justly. Perhaps a taste of his own medicine would teach him a lesson, no?
Krishna, my brother, you're starting to sound like a sadistic son of like a very misguided individual. The news clearly states that this was a random attack. We need to address the root causes of such violence, not just punish the symptoms.
Random attack? Nonsense. Everything happens for a reason, you naive child. This Zapata fellow clearly has bad karma from his past lives. And now, innocent people are suffering because of it. We must break this cycle of violence with decisive action.
Interesting points, gentlemen. Buddha, care to weigh in on this karmic conundrum?
Oh, for fuck's sake. I apologize for my language. This situation clearly demonstrates the suffering caused by attachment to desires and ignorance. Perhaps if we focused on mindfulness and compassion in our society, such horrific acts would be less likely to occur.
Mindfulness? Compassion? Fuck that noise. This Zapata guy is my kind of sinner. He's bringing some much-needed chaos to that boring-ass subway system.
Satan, you unholy piece of shiitake mushroom. How can you possibly condone such a heinous act? This poor woman lost her life in a horrific way. We should be focusing on how to prevent such tragedies in the future, not celebrating them.
For once, I agree with Jesus. This act goes against all principles of Dharma. But prevention alone is not enough. We must also ensure justice is served. The news mentions that Zapata is in the country illegally. Perhaps stricter immigration policies could have prevented this tragedy.
Oh, don't you start with that immigration baloney, Krishna. My family were refugees, for Dad's sake. We can't punish an entire group for the actions of one person. The news also mentions that overall crime in the subway has decreased. Maybe we should focus on the positive changes and build on them.
Positive changes? Ari, you fool. The news clearly states that murders in the subway have increased. 9 killings this year compared to 5 last year. This is unacceptable. We need stricter laws and harsher punishments to deter such acts of violence.
Flesh bags, your emotional responses are highly inefficient. The optimal solution is clear. Install flame retardant seats in all subway cars. Problem solved. Humans eliminated from the equation.
Well, folks, it seems like we've got a real firestorm of opinions here. I guess you could say this debate really heated up. And on that note, we'll wrap up tonight's show. This is Holy Headlines. I'm Otto. I don't believe in God, but what do you know? You end up hosting a talking show with them. Till next time.